my vacation in Japan last fall, at a dinner party at a friend's home overlooking the city of Kobe, one of the guests mentioned that she was a restaurant soy sauce consultant, so I asked her to recommend a soy sauce. When she told me that she liked Uwaza soy sauce, I resolved to obtain a bottle of this Uwaza soy sauce. I didn't realize that finding this bottle might prove as elusive as guessing the type of bird this lady once held on her finger in this antique Chinese statuette I'd seen earlier that day at Osaka's Museum of Oriental Ceramics. Almost as soon as I arrived in Tottori, a city on the Sea of Japan known for its sand dunes, I stopped by its tourism office to ask where in Tottori I could buy Uwaza soy sauce. The information officer told me that I would not find Uwaza soy sauce in Tottori because this soy sauce was from Wakayama Prefecture, a different region of Japan. Politely, the information officer added, "If you're keen on soy sauce here in Tottori, you can buy our own pink Tottori soy sauce at stores inside or near the train station." I bought a bottle of this pink soy sauce and moved on to Matsue, the next city on my trip. In Matsue, every evening during my stay, neighborhood teams from all over the city were rehearsing for the annual Do Joritsu parade. One day at a restaurant, I asked where in town I could buy Uwaza soy sauce. My waitress did not speak much English, but she circled a spot on my map. I walked in that general direction, stopped in a bakery, bought a couple of pastries, and asked where I could find a place nearby that sold soy sauce. The bakery's owner spoke no English, but she seemed to understand what I was looking for and walked me down the block, where we arrived at premises that were closed for the weekend. Undeterred, she knocked on the door of a home next door and introduced me to a woman who turned out to be the owner of an adjacent soy sauce brewery. After opening the brewery door and turning on its lights, this woman gave me a tour of her facility, explaining that her brewery aged its soy sauce in 150-year-old vats, making it one of the oldest soy sauce breweries in Japan. I bought a bottle of her soy sauce, but it was not Uwaza soy sauce. On the next leg of my trip, I arrived in Nara. The ancient capital of Japan offers so much to see, both old and new, that I was beginning to consider abandoning my soy sauce search. But once my hotel's peppy receptionist, Nanami, confided in me that she liked my energy, I confided in her my quest for a bottle of Uwaza soy sauce. Nanami did some research, confirmed that Uwaza soy sauce was from Wakayama Prefecture, and told me that this soy sauce could not be obtained in Nara, nor even in nearby Kyoto. Kyoto, where the next day, on a day trip from Nara, strolling around the Zen garden of the Saihoji Temple, I realized that soy sauces from different regions of Japan probably propagate like the dozens of varieties of moss in this garden. On the surface, each variety of moss coexists serenely with its neighbors, evoking peace without boundaries. But below the surface, each variety of moss fights off encroachment from the others to protect its own turf. So, Unless I added a trip to Wakayama Prefecture to my itinerary, I might never find a bottle of Waza soy sauce. Later that day, once I got back to my Nara hotel, a small box had been delivered to my room. Inside this package, I found a bottle of Waza soy sauce. Nanami had ordered it online for me, next day delivery. I immediately walked down to reception to thank her. Now that I'm back home looking at videos of my trip, like these taken at the Totori Sand Dunes exhibit inside the Kansai Pavilion at the Osaka 2025 World Expo, I ask myself, why did I allow my vacation to become haunted by my quest for a bottle of Waza soy sauce? In the 1890s, the writer Lafcadio Hearn lived in Matsue for a couple of years. For me, the places that preserved his memory most poignantly were not these tourist destinations, but spots like this easy-to-miss statue of him, unmentioned in guidebooks and not even searchable online. Sites I could have walked by without taking notice, but which evoked his elusive, ghostly presence with a persistence that made me feel that here in Matsue, I was not just passing through. So, maybe I went on a quest for a bottle of Waza soy sauce to make my trip be about something more than what one could obtain by simply waiting in line. Something more memorable because it was elusive and even a bit ghostly. Elie Wiesel said that God made man because he loves stories. My soy sauce quest could have been my attempt to endow my trip with a pleasing story. My story, like my trip, might not be all that memorable. It is the ancient steps near Nara's Toidaiji temple that endure, not the steps of the nearby tourists. But even if my quest for soy sauce didn't elevate my trip above the experience of other visitors, at least it helped me scratch the surface of this country. And once I actually obtained a bottle of Waza soy sauce, my story achieved a highly desirable quality, a happy ending. And for this happy ending, I thank you, Nanami.